Hello and welcome to Kurious City. With a difference, we're on lockdown. This is all about helping creative freelancers, indie businesses, arts companies raise awareness about their current plight and tell you how you can help them. So if you're keen to get in touch or you know someone that needs some help, please email me, letty@kurious.art. And just to say, we are recording this online, so the audio isn't usual industry studio spec. So forgive us for that and enjoy. Hello and welcome to another episode of Kurious City on Lockdown. Today I'm delighted to say I'm talking to Hayley Humphries, who's a freelance animator, illustrator and author based in Sheffield. Hayley, hello, welcome.
Hello, hi Letty.
How are you doing?
Not too bad. Obviously it's quite a stressful, anxious time for everyone at the moment, but surprisingly, I don't know if it's just naivety, but I'm remaining optimistic at the moment.
That's the only way, isn't it? So for our listeners, can you explain a little bit about what you do and the impact that COVID-19 has had on you personally and professionally?
Yeah. So I'm I'm in a bit of a weird situation personally. Because obviously I'm a freelance illustrator and animator, and I'm kind of working on my own book and stuff at the same time. But I've not been freelancing full time for, well, ever really. I've always had some kind of full-time employment that supported it, and for the last year and a half, I've been fully not had any time to do my own freelance or own personal projects because of the company I was working with. But unfortunately, I got made redundant just before all the COVID-19
Wow.
Stuff kicked off within England and things. So I'm in quite an odd situation in that I've not lost my job because of coronavirus. It was just through other reasons. It was the company was just struggling. I've decided to go into freelance work, but I've not been freelancing for a good year and a half, and even then when I was freelancing it was supplementary income rather than main income.
Sure.
So I can't get any help from the government really, because it obviously averages it out over the past 3 years.
And are you entitled to anything from your previous place of work?
No, because it was only a year and a half that I was working there. You got to be at least 2 years, I think, and that's for only a week's extra pay. And then it's only really when you've been working somewhere 3 years plus that you start getting more kind of benefits and things. So I was quite lucky in the fact that they gave me a month's notice.
Right.
So they didn't just land it on me and then I was out of work. So I have been, I did work up to last Tuesday actually. So that was on the 1st, I believe. And so I have that paycheck, which is very nice as well. So it means that because I know how things are, I can kind of budget it. And so I've realised I have about 3 months of surviving with rent and bills and things, not much else. But,
there's literally there's no support available to you at all, funding or otherwise.
No, I could try for universal credit, which I've been looking into, but I'm very unlikely to get much through that because my partner has still got an income. He's been furloughed though, and he's a fast food worker, so obviously that's minimum wage. So 80% of minimum wage, it's not really enough to live on as such, but it's enough to kind of limit what help I can get because we're still getting some income.
What's your kind of, because obviously, being a freelancer has its perils at the best of times, living in a perpetual state of uncertainty and not sure where the next paycheck's coming from or the next job or the next contract. And how have you found it kind of suddenly being launched into the world of freelancing full time without having that kind of build up?
Yeah, no, it is quite worrying. I know that I am quite fortunate in the fact that so because the field I'm going into freelancing primarily is e-learning, because that's what I've been doing for the last year and a half.
Okay.
And I have contacts within that industry. So because I don't know, I guess I work well with other people and I do good work. That does obviously go a long way. And so I've got some contacts from my previous job who, are other companies and things now too, but are looking for freelance work. And so have been able to bring me in and get me a few days kind of here and there. So I've even got 2 days already coming up this week, which is great. So thankfully I've got that as a little bit of a support. So I'm not going diving headfirst into a market where I don't have any contacts.
Yeah.
But it's still, I know. So for example, my previous company was going to be giving me odd bits of freelance work where they could still, because they're still obviously trying to make the company work. But I know that they're not able to give me anything when they originally said they would be able to because of COVID, because all their projects have halted. So I know that's like a big thing across the industry. And also because when you're obviously first starting out, networking's such a big thing.
Yeah.
And people are happy to talk over Skype and online and things like that, and a lot of it is remote based. But I know from my experience, people like to have at least one time where you meet face to face before they really bring you in on any big projects, because obviously people can talk the talk, but then
you've got to meet them,
deliver. Basically. And I think obviously it just goes a long way to build that trust with someone and get that kind of relationship there if you can meet in person, which obviously just isn't possible at the moment.
Do you have a website and stuff? Are you quite sort of active on there, or are you about to launch this kind of touting for new work, freelancing, marketing scheme, or what? How are you? What's your plan for the next 3 months or however?
I do have a website. It's squareaquarium.com. So that's kind of more of a portfolio website. So that's kind of where I put all my illustrations and bits and bobs I'm working on, just to kind of show off my skills really. I do also use various social medias like Instagram and stuff, but obviously over the past year and a half, because I've been so focused at this other job, I've not been posting on these things, so I need to actually start building traction and things on those again, because I was doing at a point where I'd do a specific drawing every Monday, and I'd be doing various other bits and bobs, Inktober, things like that, various community projects to try and just get a bit more out there, get a bigger base of audience, because I know ideally what I'd love, and I think what a lot of artists would love to be able to do, is to live primarily off your own creative projects and IPs, basically. That's forever, that is the end goal.
And what's it like, the kind of animation and illustration communities? Are they supportive? Are you kind of in sort of supportive of each other? Is there a real community feeling around it, or not so much?
It's weird, because obviously as a whole, I think it's quite a supportive industry. Like, people are always happy to give other people advice and use tutorials and things, but because there's not a big structure to it, so it's not like you have a union it's like widely available for everyone to like get involved with, and you don't feel as connected in that way. It's all still very different pockets of people dealing with their own things. But saying that, I found one of the most supportive networks for me personally is there's the bunch of Facebook groups you can get for various freelancers and illustrators and things.
Can you think of any of the names of those, in case anyone listening is in a similar situation to you or might need a bit of a boost?
No, of course. So just give me a second, because I want to get the name right.
You can put it on the show notes as well.
Yes. So one of the ones that I always find is really, really lovely, and obviously this is a bit more specific to if you're doing convention-based art selling, which I have done in the past. But Artist Alley Network International is a really, really nice group, just for generally people sharing different contacts they have, different resources.
Artist Allied Network International?
Artist Alley Network International, so it's primarily for people who table at conventions and things, but because obviously everyone in there are illustrators and people who are trying to progress their artwork, you get a lot of just support on hey, here's how to do this thing. Oh, I found this new company that print badges really good quality and you have good service. Or they do a self-post Sunday where you can share all your social media and try and get a bit more traction, like followers through that, and advice as well on how to grow a social network platform.
Sounds really useful.
Yeah, no, it is, and they are genuinely a really lovely group as well. And then obviously you can find similar groups for kind of your more local areas too.
Sure.
I generally stick to that one just because, I really like them. But yeah, and I've also found specifically during this time with coronavirus, obviously there's the Sheffield Mutual Aid group for Sheffield specifically, which is just good in general, even if you're not a freelancer, just trying to help each other out. But they also have a specific group for freelancers in Sheffield too, who are struggling because of Corona. It's not illustration specific, it's just obviously small business. All in Sheffield, all, just basically trying to make it through the current crisis and giving each other advice on what benefits people can get and what support is out there.
So, have you heard of the South Yorkshire Creatives Hardship Fund?
I have not, no.
You should perhaps have a look at that.
Yeah.
I can send you a link afterwards.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that'd be really helpful. I say it's still obviously very early days for me at the moment because it's I think well, for a lot of people we're all just trying to find our feet, aren't we, and figure out what's out there and things.
And just before we wrap up, Hayley, have you got any silver linings in all of this? Is there anything that has kind of occurred to you, or anything you've noticed, or are there any positives that you have found out of this whole situation? It's fine if the answer's no.
Surprisingly, no, I would say there is, because I mean, it feels weird to say, because obviously I'm so worried about various vulnerable friends and family members I have, and obviously it's very stressful at the best of times to be made redundant, let alone when you're going into this kind of thing. I mean, your partner's not in, it's just, it's hugely a lot of pretty crazy stuff's happening at the moment. But the one thing that I think is a silver lining, and I am really liking at the moment, I'm trying to hang on, is my little beacon, if you know what I mean, is the fact that I do have the time to work on my personal projects more now and things. And I actually, because obviously I'm pouring all this effort into getting the freelance business started and getting all this stuff set up. But that also means that I can focus on my own creative IPs as well. So I have a graphic memoir that I've been in the stages of planning for the past half a year now, that I'm finally actually getting some traction on, and getting into the design phase and actually drafting up strips and things.
Oh, exciting.
So that's really, really lovely. And there's also my partner is very, very, very into video games. I am too, to be fair. And he's always wanted to do like video essays and things like that on them. But again, because he works a fast food job where he can go from working 5 p.m. till 3 a.m. one day, and the next day, 12 till 12 kind of thing. It's like there's no ability in that to plan around it, because obviously most of the time you just try to catch up on your sleep or get a new sleep pattern or various things like that. So we've decided we're going to be kind of working on a little YouTube show together as well, just as like a fun thing. I don't know if it'll really go anywhere, but it's just nice being able to
rediscover your own creativity in this.
Yeah, basically, and not feeling guilty for spending time on it, because there's not really much else we can spend time on at the moment.
Brilliant.
So I'd say that.
Hayley, thank you so much for talking to us today, and good luck with everything. Keep in touch, won't you? And if there's anything that we can do to help, I'll send you the link to the South Yorkshire Hardship Fund now. But yes, good luck, stay strong and stay safe.
Okay, you too, good luck, stay safe. Bye.
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 A Kurious Arts production.